Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zeng here, and today I have another Road to Ranked episode for you all. As always, if you enjoy the series and want to see another episode tomorrow, please leave a like on this video to show your support, and let's aim for 500 likes on this video. Now just a quick update for you guys, the next 3 days, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, I'm going to be really busy. I basically have leadership training / social justice seminars from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m, so I really won't get home until around 7 o'clock. So uploads will probably go up a bit later, around 9 to 10ish. I'm definitely going to try to at least get a Road to Ranked up every night, and if not, more individual Pokemon analyses as well. So I'll do my best, but thank you guys for understanding. This is a really important thing for me to be a part of. So just letting you guys know that uploads will be up a bit later. Today I am using the exact same team as the previous episode: Charizard Y, Landorus T, Thundurus, Bisharp, Sylveon, and Hariyama. Now my rating currently is 1761, which is pretty exciting because I'm really close to the 1800 mark. In addition, if I can hit 1765 by the end of the 2 battles today, then I'm going to be in the top 10 in the US. But it's definitely going to be a challenge, as my first opponent of the day is a 1700 plus player. So this battle is basically to get me into the top 10 of the US right now. I think the cutoff for that is 1765. My opponent's got a Hydreigon, Kangaskhan, Entei, Landorus T, Zapdos, and a Moongus. So, you know, a bunch of threatening legendary Pokemon, especially the Landorus, Zapdos, and the Entei. Kangaskhan and Moongus, very annoying to deal with as well, and the Hydreigon. So, first impressions, he's got Intimidate, but the Amoonguss is definitely one of the more annoying things on his team to deal with. Charizard could be nice here if I can manage to get some speed control. He doesn't have any way to really prevent me from leading with Landorus, which is nice. So I'm thinking leading with Landorus and Sylveon. Sylveon in case he does choose to lead with Hydreigon, I think. Though Hariyama actually fares really well into this matchup as well. Like I said, the Amoonguss is really going to be the main issue here. This is one of the cases where all my Pokemon can actually help out a lot. But the question is who I actually really want to bring. Let's see. I'm thinking leading with Landorus and Charizard, actually, to threaten the potential Amoonguss lead right away. One thing about VGC 15, my observations so far, is that it is very, very based off the leads. If you can make the right calls in terms of team preview, you'll be in a huge advantage. And of course, this is the case with every year in VGC, but I find so many games where it's like, oh, if I had just led correctly, I would have been in such a good position. It would have been very, very difficult for my opponent to come back. And that's the case with every VGC year, but at least my experience with 15 right now, and maybe that's the teams I'm using as well, but just a general observation. I think I'm going to lead with Sylveon and Thundurus, actually, and have Charizard in the back. And for the last one, I think I'm gonna go with Landorus. Yeah. Now I'm thinking perhaps I should have brought Hariyama or Bisharp over Landorus, because Landorus, while it is really strong with the Choice Band in its careful nature and bulky, it's still can't really pick up one-hit KOs here, but I guess just having Rock Slide pressure is really good in itself, and Intimidate as well against the Kangaskhan. He's going to lead with Zapdos and Entei, okay, against my Thundurus and Sylveon. So that's decent, not the worst, not the best here. I kind of wish I did lead with the Landorus now, but, you can't complain about this lead matchup here. On the first turn, I think I'm just going to Thunder Wave the Entei and go for a Hyper Voice. Though I'm considering switching out Sylveon to Landorus to take a potential... The question is whether he targets Sylveon with a Fire-type attack. Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to Hyper Voice to get some damage off at Zapdos so I can KO it with Rock Slide and Thunder Wave the Entei to slow it down. That way, Entei... Yep, he's not going to protect here, so Thunder Wave is going to get off. And that's going to prevent Entei, or not prevent, but at least reduce his chances of attacking. And he's actually going to be fully paralyzed there, so a bit lucky for me there, as Sylveon does get the Scarf Hyper Voice off. Let's see how much damage it does. A very fair amount to the Zapdos, as he goes for the T-Bolt right into Sylveon. So I'm assuming he double targeted that Sylveon slot, which is why I didn't want to switch into the Landorus T I had in the back, because he might have, went for a Flare Blitz onto that spot. So that was definitely a good turn for me. I'm just going to Hyper Voice here once again and Thunderbolt the Zapdos. Actually, yeah, I'm going to try to take care of Zapdos right now because I have the Entei paralyzed, and his Entei is going to have a difficult time for the remainder of this game already. And I am going to get the T-Bolt off here. Oh, good to know that Thundurus and Sylveon outspeed the Zapdos, so I'm actually going to pick up a KO there, which is great. So I take the quick 4-3 lead, but let's see what Entei goes for here. He does go for the Sacred Fire, which is one of the nice attacks Entei gets access to. Will it knock out Sylveon? It won't, but it burns me, so that's going to add up the residual damage. But, you know, that's fair. I got a full power on his Entei the first turn around, so even trade-off there. Let's see what comes in. I'm definitely ahead in the game, especially because I knocked out Zapdos, which was definitely one of the bigger threats to my team because of the nuisance it offered against the Charizard I've got in the back. Though he brings in his own Landorus here, which is definitely annoying. I'm tempted to switch out Thundurus, but the thing is I can't really afford to get my Landorus. Excuse me. I don't want to switch into Landorus and then get Landorus burn from Sacred Fire because, of course, the burn chance of that is very high. So I'm definitely going to go for a Hyper Voice, though his Landorus should be faster. And I'm thinking of just Thunderbolting the Entei here so I can bring in Landorus safely. And I think I'm going to have to go for that play. Unfortunately, I am a bit Landorus weak here, and he is going to be able to outspeed my Sylveon. So I'm thinking maybe I should have switched Sylveon, into the Landorus I had in the back. That probably would have been a better play. But I was scared he might have Sacred Fired that slot instead. And I guess we'll find out, but hopefully Thundurus can at least get an attack off here. And it flinches, which is unfortunate, and he does get the Sacred Fire off. So that's definitely going to set me back a fair amount. And he burns me! Yeah, that's unfortunate. So, suddenly this game became very difficult to win. And Thundurus is actually KO'd by the burn there too, which definitely sucks. So I've got to bring in my own Landorus and Charizard now. And I think I just got to go for the Rock Slide Heat Wave, honestly. There's not many other options I can go for. In retrospect, probably should have brought in Hariyama because otherwise I didn't have many good ways to deal with the Landorus. And Hariyama is a really nice way because it can switch in nicely and just, go for fake outs and stuff. I'm going to Mega Evolve and just Heat Wave Rock Slide. Charizard might be able to take a Rock Slide here because I wasn't able to intimidate Landorus. And of course if he gets a miss, that would be really good too. And he might switch out the Landorus here into whatever he's got in the back because he is intimidated, but I guess we'll find out. So I do need some fortune on my side here right now. Avoiding Rock Slide flinches, maybe a miss here on Charizard, and picking up the KO on Landorus would be great too. But he is going to stay in, so if my Charizard can hang around, I can probably pick up a double knockout this turn, which would be fantastic. That Landorus, I assume, is Choice Scarf. So Drought here is going to go up. Let's see what he goes for. He goes for the Protect with Entei, a sensible play. Yep, that is going to be a faster Landorus. Will it knock out Charizard? That is the question right now. As it doesn't. Perfect. So still in this game. Going to be hard to come back, but still possible. As Heat Wave almost takes it out. Landorus here with the Rock Slide should knock it out, as it does. Unfortunately, though, I'm assuming my opponent's last Pokemon is Kangaskhan, and if that is the case, this is going to be a very difficult match to win. But who knows? Maybe it's not Kangaskhan, since I had Hariyama in Team Preview. But I'm gonna guess it's Kangaskhan. You normally save that for last or first, and it is Kangaskhan as I predicted. So this is getting intense now. From his perspective, he's got to target Charizard with an attack like Fake Out. So I'm tempted to just Protect and Rock Slide. Though, even if I do that, he can just Sucker Punch Charizard the following turn. So the question is whether I just go for an Overheat, trying to get him to predict the Landorus to Fake Out Landorus. You know what? I think that's my only play. I've got to hope he attacks the Landorus with like a Fake Out Sacred Fire, and I've got to hope that Entei gets fully paralyzed. So I'm going to just Overheat Rock Slide here. Kangaskhan is going to Mega Evolve, so let's see what it goes for. Obviously, the Protect Charizard play is pretty obvious, and he's probably going to want to Fake Out Landorus knowing that I might have Rock Slide in the back. He goes for the Fake Out. Who does it target? Into Landorus! Nice! So this is still possible to win. If the... oh, but the Overheat misses! Oh, oh no! I had that game won! Especially with the full para there too. Oh, that blows. That certainly blows. Not much I can do now. live and die by overheat accuracy, I guess. Yeah, I went for the play and it worked out, but unfortunately it's not going to pan out this game. Let's see, if I were him, you know, I'm just going to protect Charizard this time around and go for a Rock Slide. Let's figure out how fast this Kangaskhan is. Oh, that blows. So he goes for the Protect with Entei. Okay. Maybe he targeted Charizard here. Oh, he just went for the Ice Punch. And that's going to knock out Landorus. So even if I overheated there, I mean, I had to rely on like a billion full paras, basically. As Landorus is going to faint. Yeah, not much to say there. I mean, I'm not sure how bulky the Kangaskhan is, but with modest Charizard overheat, it knocks out almost all Kangaskhan's. So, it sucks to have that win there, but have it taken away from you. But, you know, that is Pokemon. Oh, and I am faster! So, I guess I should have just went for the overheat play the last turn, but I was afraid of the Sucker Punch. So, yeah, misplays on my end there. And, oh, it actually doesn't knock it out, so I suppose he would have won the game regardless. Yeah, based off that, actually, he had the game won. So, either that was a damage roll, or he is EV to survive the Charizard overheat. Though, I'm not running max investment, but that was a very good game. It did come down to the wire. My opponent conserved that Kangaskhan really well, and I realized halfway into the match that I should have brought in Hariyama when Landorus came in, and I realized, oh, I don't have many good ways to deal with Landorus. But definitely a cool match on my opponent's end, featuring Entei of all Pokemon. As you know, Zapdos relatively common, Landorus T and Kangaskhan definitely the top two most common Pokemon actually, and Entei to round it off. So unfortunately, I am going to lose this first battle. That's going to drop my rating a bit, but hopefully I can climb back up with the second one. That was a definitely intense first game though, and I probably could have brought better Pokemon choices. I think I probably could have left out Thundurus for Hariyama instead. So my rating currently now is 1746, which is fine. You know, still in that mid-17 range, but ideally we'd like to get back to, or at least climb up to 1800. So we're going to find an opponent this time around. Let's see how this pans out. I'm thinking maybe even bring Charizard in that match was a mistake, and he definitely got me with the Amoonguss. That scared me a lot in Team Preview. And of course, Charizard is one of the best ways to deal with Amoonguss, but perhaps I should have just led with something like Thundurus Hariyama, which in retrospect is actually a really good lead. And Hariyama beat my opponent's entire team other than Amoonguss, so I don't think I made the right calls in Team Preview. But the second opponent of the day is going to be a 1755 rated player from Japan, 15-4, excuse me. He's going to have Landorus, Kangaskhan, Sylveon, Conkeldurr, and the Arcanine. So once again, a really standard team for the first four Pokemon. Conkeldurr and Arcanine, more interesting choices, but let's see. Once again, Hariyama would be an excellent choice. The one thing that scares me is his Sylveon. I'm thinking he's going to want to lead with Kangaskhan and Conkeldurr. Well, Sylveon's definitely a good call as a lead here, I think. I also like Bisharp a lot as a lead. Let's see. Charizard's not a bad call, actually. Maybe Charizard Bisharp, but the thing is that suffers a lot against Kangaskhan and Conkeldurr. Decisions. He does have the double Intimidate. I'm gonna guess he's not gonna lead with either Landorus or I keep on calling that Entei because it's like a fire dog, but that's not Entei, it's Arcanine. And I'm gonna lead with Landorus Sylveon to intimidate him and get some offensive pressure out right away, because I get the feeling he's gonna go with Kangaskhan and Conkeldurr. Even if he doesn't, that's fine. I think that's a pretty safe lead for me here. In the back, you know what, I'm gonna learn my lesson. I'm gonna bring Hariyama this time, and it's between Charizard and Bisharp for my last one, but I think Charizard's a bit better. Bisharp is very tempting, but it's just a Mach Punch from Conkeldurr's teeth right now. I don't want to be in a situation where he can just Mach Punch me for the win. I'm definitely going to keep Thundurus out in this match, though, because I can't Thunder Wave, you know, two of his Pokemon, and you don't want to Thunder Wave Conkeldurr, which gets access to Guts as well. So the question is whether I want to bring Bisharp in or not this time. Decisions. So it'd be Bisharp over Charizard. You know what? I'm going to bring Bisharp. Charizard's nice, but it's got the weakness to the Landorus and the Thundurus, and I expect both of those to make an appearance. So I guess we'll see if I made the right calls this time around, after a pretty frustrating game 1 because I didn't bring Hariyama, but moment of truth. And team preview is definitely one of the hardest parts in VGC. You know, I've been playing for so long, but I feel like I still make mistakes here and there. And he does lead with the Conkeldurr and the Kangaskhan, which I'm glad to see, of course, because that is the lead I predicted. So I'm going to lead with Sylveon and Landorus, which is nice. No doubt in my mind, he's going to try to go for the fake out onto Sylveon. Otherwise, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. So I think I'm going to go for the Hyper Voice here and just go for a U-turn with Landorus. Into the Hariyama I've got in the back. Though I definitely want to knock out Sylveon here as quickly as possible. He's going to stay in with both of his Pokemon, so I assume we're going to see a fake out here. Though the question is what item he has on Conkeldurr, which gets access to, or not get access to, very commonly runs Assault Vest. He does go for fake out. Let's see who it targets. Does target Sylveon, so smart play there. Does a fair amount, as I am going to be able to at least get the U-turn off here, and that's going to do a decent amount of damage there onto the Kangaskhan, and allow me to bring my Landorus in once again for future Intimidates. So that's fine. I mean, played out the way I wanted it to, and I do get a free switch into Hariyama here. I guess we'll see what the Conkeldurr is carrying, though. It does get access to Poison Jab, so maybe he's going to go for that play. But he goes for the Ice Punch, so I'm glad I went for the U-turn there, as he targets Hariyama. And does a good amount even after the Intimidate. So I'm going to go for another Hyper Voice here. But the question is whether I predict any switches here, or do I just go for the fake out onto the Kangaskhan. Let's see. He's probably got Landorus and Thundurus in the back if I had to guess. Which is fine. I'm very tempted to Ice Punch that Conkeldurr slot. Definitely gonna go for the Hyper Voice. You know, I'm just gonna play it safe, fake out the Kangaskhan and Hyper Voice. He's actually gonna switch out Kang. What comes in? Is that Arcanine? Yeah, okay. So nice switching by my opponent there. He's going to intimidate the Hariyama. That's not going to matter because, of course, I went for the fake out. But he stays in with the Conkeldurr. So let's see how much this Hyper Voice does. I expect it to survive. Oh, it hangs on with just a sliver of HP. Unfortunate there. As he does have the Poison Jab. So I did anticipate that. Will it be able to KO Sylveon? It will. So nice swing of momentum on my opponent's end there for sure. As the Entei reveals it has leftovers. But I'm going to be able to get a free switch into Landorus here, which intimidates both of his Pokemon. But now I'm kind of in a precarious situation because, well, I can just Rock Slide for sure. I'm going to Rock Slide with Landorus, and I'm just going to close combat. I want to close combat the, you know, I think I should just close combat the, because if I were him, I would just sack the Conkeldurr. So yeah, I'm just gonna Rock Slide and close combat the. Keep on wanting to call that Entei or Raikou. Oh my god, the Arcanine. Let's see what kind of variant it is. Yep, he is just gonna stay and go for the Mach Punch onto Hariyama, which doesn't do too much. Oh, and he is Life Orb. I should have noticed that after the first turn. So, unfortunate damage roll there. He does go for the Will-O-Wisp, and he connects with the Landorus, so that's unfortunate. That's going to burn me. Good play on his end for sure. At least Rock Slide here is a single target move, and it's going to connect, but I don't expect it to do too much. Still a decent amount, actually, as Hariyama does get the close combat off as well, but it is at -1. Doesn't knock it out either. So, you see how bulky my opponent's Pokemon are here. As Entei's going to Entei, excuse me, as Arcanine's going to heal a bit more from that leftovers. So of course I'm playing a bit down now that he burned my Landorus. There really wasn't many other plays I could have gone for there. Of course I had my Bisharp in the back, but I think Bisharp's important to conserve in this match. He's going to bring in Kangaskhan. So I'm going to go for another Rock Slide here, of course, and like, I can still easily win this match, but I've got to make the plays. So I'm definitely going to go for a Rock Slide, but the question is, what is he going to do with that Entei? You know, I can't afford to lose the Bisharp I've got in the back, so I'm just going to Rock Slide in close combat Kangaskhan. And he goes straight for the Double Edge, but onto who? Okay, onto Hariyama. So that's going to knock me out, but hopefully I can pick up the knockout here onto the Entei. And I was very close to switching out into my Bisharp there. Oh, I see his Morning Sun with the Arcanine. That's a nice clutch move on my opponent's end for sure. I do get a Rock Slide off here, but things are looking tough right now. Just still a very solid amount though. But unfortunately, because I chose to run a slower Landorus, I'm going to be slower basically than the Arcanine. So I'm thinking maybe I should have switched Hariyama out there, but I was really afraid of the double target onto Hariyama. So I'm just going to go for another Rock Slide, and maybe I should just Sucker Punch. I don't know. There are not many ways I can really win this game. I think he's going to Will-O-Wisp with Arcanine. Maybe I can bank off a Will-O-Wisp miss here. Let's see. If he misses Will-O-Wisp and I can Sucker Punch KO the Kangaskhan here. Though he might just attack with Arcanine as well. Actually, if I were him, I would have attacked. So let's see. I probably should have Protect Rock Slided. Oh, he goes for the Morning Sun though. Okay, good. So, giving me some hope still. But of course, this Arcanine is going to be nearly impossible to take down. As Landorus does get another Rock Slide off, but him hitting the Will-O-Wisp earlier on just makes this game so much more difficult. Though, let's see what his last Pokemon is. If it's Landorus, I might actually have a shot at this game, and it's basically the one reason why I haven't given up yet. But I guess we're about to see. So, fingers crossed for Landorus T as my opponent's last one. And it is Landorus, okay. So this is still possible. We can still do this, guys. He is going to give me the Defiant boost, and I do get, of course, yeah, the free boost. Oh, this is close now. Now we have a game. I think I'm going to Rock Slide here to try to break off a potential Sash. Now the question is, do I protect with Bisharp or not? This is really close. Alternatively, I can just Sucker Punch. You know, I'm going to protect with Bisharp and just Rock Slide. He protects with Landorus, which is good. But the protect indicates to me it's probably something like Focus Sash. However, now he can't KO Bisharp the following turn. Let's see. He did go just for the Heat Wave. Okay. So maybe I should have Sucker Punched the Arcanine instead. But Landorus here is going to get the Rock Slide off. Let's see how much damage this does. Yeah, not at all with those two Intimidates. I'm surprised he didn't go for the Will-O-Wisp, knowing that if he doesn't go for it, basically, he's done for at this point. But unfortunately, that's probably going to be a Sashed Landorus. As, you know, I'm just going to go for the Rock Slide and the Sucker Punch onto his Landorus. I think I should have Sucker Punched the Arcanine last turn, but I really thought he'd go for the Will-O-Wisp on Bisharp, knowing he would get KO'd by the Sucker Punch. So, I mean, he made the best play possible, but... So I'm going to get the Sucker Punch off here on Landorus. What item does it have? Oh, it actually hangs on, so probably bulky. As it goes for the U-turn onto the Bisharp. Oh, he did go for the Will-O-Wisp. Okay. So there's still some life in this game. As Landorus gets the Rock Slide off, that's going to KO the Landorus, and... Ooh. Unfortunately, like, this burn counter is ticking down. But I'm thinking he might go for a Morning Sun, so maybe if I can get a Rock Slide and knock off on the same turn, that would do a lot of damage and put it in Sucker Punch KO range. Though at this point, if I were him, I would just go for the Heat Wave, to be quite honest. So the question is here now, do I knock off? Or do I just Sucker Punch? I think if I were him, I'd play it safe and go for the Morning Sun, so I'm going to go knock off Rock Slide. Let's see, though. The bulky fire types are really doing work this game. Entei in the first game and Arcanine in the second game. Oh, wow! Do we speed tie? Oh! A crit! Morning Sun! Oh! No, if I got to the flinch there, I could have won, but this entire time, I guess we've been speed tying. But Bisharp here is going to get the knockoff off. Let's see how much damage this does. Oh! This is really close, but I think both of my Pokemon are going to faint after another turn of burn. Ah, there was like that ounce of hope, but it was just taken away from me. I'm just going to Rock Slide and Sucker Punch, but he can just protect now and win the game. Oh, but he doesn't protect! Landorus outspeeds and it Rock Slides! That's going to KO the Arcanine! Oh my god! What a good second game. That was crazy. So the entire time I assumed he was faster than me, but I guess we've been speed tying, and I managed to win a very, very intense game too, in probably one of the best battles on Road to Ranked yet. So that's going to push my rating back up into at least 1760-ish, which is nice. So hopefully I can make the push into 1800, excuse me, next time around. But wow, what an intense second game after a really close first game as well. So definitely two amazing battles today featuring bulky fire types. Anyway, that's it for today's battle, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, leave a like if you did, and I'll see you next time. Peace.